Yep. Perfect. Welcome back for another week of A House Divided, brought to you by the wonderful folks here at Polyhedra. We have our wonderful 6 players once again back. We are, of course, doing this in partnership with Foundry VTT. Thank you so much again for sponsoring us to play A House Divided, and what a wild ride it has been. As we're getting into it, I'm excited to just take off right away. There's a lot of exciting stuff that we're working on behind the scenes, stuff to come in the future, and I'm just excited to get you guys excited for that. Just be staying tuned for now, because there's a lot of stuff that is coming your way, and I'm hyped. We've been working on some cool stuff. That said, as we're delving back in for another week of A House Divided, previously, our adventurers had made their way from the material plane. Someone inadvertently threw a portal as they were chased by two weird undead-looking spectral skeletons made out of weave energy, the stuff that magic itself is made out of. You guys tried fighting them, and you found yourselves hopelessly outmatched during that fight. As you rushed through the gate, you found yourself on the other side. However, there were not a bunch of Disney proprietary spirits waiting for you, but instead a raunchy Feywild party. Within that, you get to meet Chineros, who apparently was the lover of Brockton's mother. A little bit of a development that was interesting for what exactly had happened to your mother, Brockton. You were unsure. As you spoke with him, it turned out that she had been shunted away during whatever happened 20 years ago. It appeared that she had already had a natural affinity towards the Feywild, had been dabbling with the druidic magics, the primal energy that was all of this. And as she found herself there, it was actually kind of nice, because if anything, she had a tie-in. As she got to meet Chineros, it appeared that those two built a new life with one another, living 3 seasons together, though 3 seasons turning into 20 years on the material plane is certainly something to behold. But the more time she spent in the Feywild, the more the Fey changed her. Her mind started to change, and her body became, well, that of the beautiful, scintillating dragon that you now see before yourself, whose paws dug into the dirt and picked up the towering body of Chineros in hers as his blood was dripping down into the ground below. You had already noticed, and Chineros had explained, that the Feywild, the seasonal change that had been brought about, was something that seemed to mirror her moods, her temperament, something that is not unheard of for the Feywild. And as you're standing there, in addition to the floating, beautiful autumn leaves of reds and yellows, suddenly you see frost starting to spread on the ground. Some of the leaves themselves are caught, freezing mid-flight. And you can see as Silvaria, the name that apparently the Fae have given her in her current form, the dragon, her scales are starting to look translucent and blue, severe and dangerous. Her eye narrows down upon her lover as she looks around towards the rest of you.
Chineros, no.
There's frost that seems to be coming out of her nostrils as more and more of the area on the ground around her seems to start to freeze over, almost like in a flash frost. You know that was what Chineros was trying to avoid in the first place. Silvaria losing her mind and forever becoming what she is, turning potentially into an unseelie Fae. He had made a deal, a pact with him to try to help foreclose this consequence. Brockton, as you look upon what your mother now is, what is going through your head?
It's still very strange, but and part of my logical brain was denying it, even having been told, but after she recognized me and spoke to me and threw useful magic at me and stuff, it was like, okay, yeah, this is real. And then to see her suddenly go have to go to such a dark place of loss, um, it's it's kind of heartbreaking, and at the same time, I'm first of all unsure how to comfort her, and second, I'm unsure how receptive she would be, and if she'd just lash out if I tried right now. So there's a lot of confusing, swirly things in my head. Mother, listen to me. We did everything we could. We did everything we could to help him, to protect him. As soon as Marcus, I know you've had a rough last couple of minutes, but you're you're better at talking to people than I am. Anything useful you can think of?
My. Oh, okay, yeah, let me get up first. My Fey Queen, Generous, I'm so sorry we couldn't do more for Generous, but know that Generous's concern was purely set upon you and your reunion with your son. As I nudge Brockton a little closer. We beg of you, we seek to help Generous's. Yes.
I have a daughter, not a son.
No, you also have a son, please.
I'm your son from your previous life, before you came to the Fae, with Ulrich.
No, you are a pretender. That life is over. You were sent by Gren to deceive me.
No, Mother. If you'll permit me, there's something I gave Chineros earlier that I'd like to show you, but it's on his body.
If this is a trick, I will kill you.
I don't doubt that for a second. I promise, this is not a trick.
She reveals her teeth as she kind of pulls back and watches as you step over towards the dead body of Chineros.
I try to find the music box.
You do. And on the side of it now, you do see his blood as it has started to kind of seep into some of the wooden elements of it.
Do you remember this? I found it in grandfather's closet. And then I'll open it and hope to God that it still plays.
You do. As you do, the music starts to play.
You used to hum this tune to me all the time when I was a child. Even when you weren't humming it to me, you seemed to have it in your mind quite a bit. You were always humming it, or sometimes a different song, but usually this one.
I remember this song. I remember my mother singing it. I remember Father.
And she kind of takes her massive draconic claw and picks it up. She just watches as the little thing spins around and around.
What is happening? Where am I?
Crap, what was the name of this? The Dreaming Grove? Is that right? You're in the Dreaming Grove. In the Fey Ward.
But this is all wrong.
And it seems like she recognizes her hands for the first time.
What is this?
Her beautiful long tail kind of whips around, and it's like a foal that doesn't know how to use its leg yet. She's like, as she kind of like backs up into the tree, a bunch of the leaves kind of cascade down. Interestingly enough, the ice seems to kind of recede in that moment. And weirdly enough, Marcus, you can also see some of the grass come back to life and become greener. Suddenly, it also gets significantly hotter in here, too.
What is this? What happened to me?
The magic of this place has changed you over time. And you are also able to influence this place some now. At least the weather, if nothing else, responds to your mood.
Brockton.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, I did it. I brought you back. I did it.
Yes, we found each other.
And her vocal cords seem to kind of change. And there seems to be a weird scintillating energy across her scales.
I thought you lost.
Brockton, I need you. And she seems
I'm here, Mother.
She kind of like grabs her head as she kind of like lays to the side. Brockton, as this is happening, you suddenly feel warmth emanating from... Where do you currently have the amulet of your mother's that you found?
Oh, I don't. Gennaros had it.
You see a green glow kind of coming from the body of Gennaros. Pulsing.
I'll step over and pick it up.
As you do, all of you guys see the green light just cascading out from Brockton, as this light is just magnificent, but also almost eerie in a sense. You get the sense that something was activated, something is responding to your touch of it. As you cascade this entire grove in this green light, it seems to pulse, almost like in response to your heartbeat.
Does it seem to... Trying to think of the right way to ask this. Do I sense any kind of pull from it? Like it wants me to do something with it?
Make me an insight check.
23.
You feel a weird kindred. You kind of have a warmth that seems to be resonating with this thing. It's like holding a warm pack after a very long, cold day outside. And it's comforting and just everything that you have wanted ever since your mother was gone. And you look upon her, and it's almost like You feel with your heart rather than see the wounds upon her body, but you sense that there is pain and injury, broken mind and heart and spirit contained within this draconic form. And that this is unnatural. This is something that can be changed. But you also sense the immense power coming off of her.
I kind of just want to focus my thoughts on the amulet and like try to see if I can like push some kind of like healing or something at her, like a healing energy, like what I was able to channel earlier.
Okay. Go ahead and use your cure wounds for me.
Oh,
My druid friend.
Okay. I'll actually do it for my character sheet this time instead of Celine's.
And don't forget to target her, just in case.
I did.
Oh, well, roll me a d8 then. Alrighty.
+3.
The energy seeps out and cascades over her form. And she seems to immediately feel the relief of pain. As you can see, her draconic visage seems to relax somewhat. And she just kind of blinks a couple times and looks up towards you.
My amulet.
She kind of steps towards you. Her massive draconic maw hovering down now, face to snout.
I don't think it'll fit around your neck anymore, but hold it out to her to take if she wants it.
And she hooks she hooks a claw in there, which is like this tiny little. It's like playing a princess play set. She kind of has it dangling there, and looks upon it.
Spoken like a dad of two girls.
Listen, pretty princess. It's a fun game. So you hold it there, dangling. Her entire body suddenly glows and shines. All of you guys are starting to have to avert your eyes as it gets too bright. Do any of you guys try to keep looking upon?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to try and fight through it.
Make me a Constitution saving throw, Brockton.
I suck at these.
Look what you've done.
This character has the lowest constitution of any character I've ever rolled in 5e.
And Clancy took that personally.
Don't call me out.
Your constitution's one higher than mine now, Clancy.
That's true.
That's true.
The rest of you all avert your eyes, though, right?
Yep.
You cover your eyes, and as you do, you see that the form of the dragon seems to shrink down, and ultimately turns into something else. Smaller, more graceful, humanoid.
If my mom's a nymph, I'm going to be really messed up in the head. Just saying.
As with that, you see a woman appear before you. She indeed still seems to have a crown of almost like horns, but almost made out of a more plantoid matter. You can see that her dress is also seemingly made out of an amalgamation of different plant things. You can see petals of flowers, maybe sunflowers kind of cascading down. You can see beautiful vines kind of curling up. And generally speaking, you see a beautiful woman. But her eyes are golden, where before they looked like yours. You can see that her body has changed forever. Her hair is now green. Brockton, is it really you?
It is, Mother. I tentatively.
And she just runs forward as you just start speaking, and she kind of bumps into you and then just grabs you into a big hug, and she's just absolutely like squeezing the ever-living hell out of you as you're trying to give some kind of a rational explanation, a rational chit-chat about what just happened. It seems that your mother cares not.
Well, and I think even Brock would realize that pretty quickly and would just start hugging her back.
In this
I've
moment...
spent 20 years thinking you were dead and gone, along with everyone else.
20? 20 years? 20?
Didn't you notice the gray?
You did look a little bit older. I didn't... It has been 20 years.
It's been 20 years. In our world, I don't know how long it's been here. Chineros could not hazard a guess.
Well, I guess I know now. The thing is, the Feywild, well, it plays tricks on you. Not just your mind or your body, but also your sense of time.
Speaking of time, I have news, and none of it's good, but some of it's worse. By Sarah, was that her name? Is dead.
And she kind of like sucks in this kind of like shuddering
Scylla.
breath. It's like, no.
We were able to see through a scrying basin. She was dead in a tree.
No.
Probably the shadow equivalent of the tree behind you. But more importantly and more timely, Sadea is trapped there now and in danger if we don't rescue her.
No. Okay. And it's almost like she realizes for the first time once again that Chineros is dead at everyone's feet. Oh, my sweet protector. My sweetling. She kind of drops down to her knees and gently caresses his hair. My love. You did get to meet him, with tears in her eyes.
Briefly, but yes, he seemed a good man, for want of a better word.
The Feywild's perhaps a bit more flexible on those terms, but he was a good person. He was good to me. For the, I guess, 20 years that we got to spend with one another. To give me a life, a love that I never thought was possible. And I'm sorry, Brockton.
You have nothing to apologize for.
I tried everything I could think of. I couldn't cross. Something prevented it every single time I tried.
I just thought everyone was dead. I didn't think to look in other planes.
Well, I suppose that is reasonable of you. She kind of looks around, and you can tell that she's looking at the trees, the falling leaves, the deadened grass. Oh my. I don't remember this place looking like this. This was a beautiful grove. A grove of dreams that Chineros and I had made. A lair. And now look at it. Did I do this?
I'm willing to bet you're at least partly responsible.
I see.
But it was also responding to Cherneros's emotions earlier, so
I see.
he was quite distraught about your situation and had asked for my help in trying to return you to your senses, as it were.
And with that, she kind of like gets up off of her knees and kind of stands up with a straight-backed, regal nature that you remember her. Please, I'm sorry. Continue speaking, my love. And who are your friends?
Oh, you may not recognize him, but you should remember Marcus. He was young the last you saw him.
You have
As
filled
was
out
I.
very nicely.
Thank you.
We always thought you would be more of a sickly child. It seems you've overcome your diseases.
Yes, I'm fit as a fiddle now.
I love hearing that. Wonderful. And the others?
These are the twins, Sebastian and Celine Bainwell. They
Well, hello. Well met.
A pleasure.
Yes, Celine is like trying to hold like cloth over Henry's wounds as he's like bleeding out. Hello.
Oh. Both of you poor dears. You're so injured. Oh, and it's like she has cuts and wounds all across her form as well, and seems to just ignore it as she kind of steps forward, and she puts a gentle hand upon you, Marcus. As she closes her hand, you suddenly feel almost like the entire grove is taking a deep breath in and out. And as there's this out breath, the wind seems to be kind of shooting through the grove here. As the damage that was done to you seems to kind of dissipate. And she almost like draws forth this dark energy out of your mouth as it's just like a cascading shadow spills forth. And she takes it and flings it away, and then just kind of caresses your cheek. And you heal for 27 points.
Oh, damn.
Ow. Oh, ow. Ouchie. Ow. Ouchie.
Bryn, is that really how you're going to introduce yourself to her?
that
God's sake.
that is Bryn. He's our resident arcanist.
You're traveling with an elf.
Half, but yes,
So times have changed, finally.
not as much as you would like.
Oh. She steps towards you, Bryn. I am severely sorry about what my people have done to yours. In my absence, I'm sure that things have not been easy between our peoples. I've always had a fondness for nature, for all things primal. And your people had a connection to not just the Feywild, but also the world that we live in.
Honestly, you guys are the first Fae I've met, so really no harm, no foul.
Huh. We are. But your people used to have annual celebrations, at least during the solstices. You had to travel across. I remember Father telling me. Do they not celebrate this anymore?
Do I have any recollection of anything even close to that?
Make me a history check. Though you are
Oh, man,
drunk,
I'm
as a
poisoned.
reminder.
Oh, right, I'm drunk. I'm
Uh-huh,
like,
uh-huh.
oh, right.
Mhm. You.
So, yes, I do introduce myself by going, ow, ouchie, ow.
You do remember that solstice celebrations absolutely were done that way. Families would bring, their kids through Fey gates to kind of show them what the Fey world looked like, where they came from, to, speak with the spirits and wish for happy harvests or protection, or sometimes also vengeance, vendettas, what have you, more foul things. It depended on which tribe you traveled with. Though, when the Elven Kingdom fell and the crown won, solstice celebrations were outlawed, for they were considered to be dangerous to the crown, to allow for face spirits to cross over and potentially, well, endanger the citizenry.
So it used to happen, but not anything I would know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure in private some people still celebrate the solstice, but
In private?
I mean, it's kind of
no.
illegal now.
Illegal? Brockton, what happened?
Yeah, Brockton, what happened?
The crown won the war, and which you know that, and they've just tried everything they can to outlaw all things Elven.
And what of father?
Well, he disappeared at the same time that you did. I've been able to piece together that Kryn is in Plane of Shadows, along with his wife and presumably stepson.
That is
I
where
have
they are.
I've not been able to figure out where grandfather is or anyone else, although I do know, and I'm motioned to Henry.
Hello.
This is
Well, it could be better circumstances.
I'm not even sure how to explain. This is they're wearing the face of a man who was one of my pupils and is now a
A
I
guest.
just blanked on the word I was looking for. He's now a traveling companion and quite a talented alchemist, but his name is Henry. This, however, we've taken to calling Myriad, and it is they are a shape-changing conglomeration of what's left of the house servants.
I see.
It's about accurate, yes? Yes.
How did you come to be in this form, if I may ask?
Like this delicious form here. You know, it is. We kidnapped. He touched a mirror. We pulled him in, and we, just, kind of subdued him, and now we are just, kind of slowly like feeding off of his essence.
She seems genuinely appalled, yet at the same time, she seems also kind of deeply fascinated by it.
With the exception of this current excursion that we don't even fully understand, they seem to be trapped within the house and mostly dwell within a mirror dimension.
But it was your family that caused us to be as we are. And so, we have bargained with your new family, or your current, lineage, to kind of fix us. Brockton has promised that he would, help us escape the house, and, maybe he'll even fix us too. We'll see. We will see.
You are... Brockton, you said that they are made up of who?
The former staff and servants of the house.
But you were not in the hall. You were not at the dinner.
No, we were not, but we were nearby, so it was kind of almost an after effect.
The guest
of whatever you
were in the staff quarters, of course, right above the hall.
Yes.
So when Father... I had hoped. He must be dead then. Something went awry that evening. Father wanted to make a great announcement. I suppose he took everyone by surprise. He had chosen to... Go ahead.
What did he do by chance? We haven't really figured that out at the house. But I apologize.
Well, he disowned both Kryn and myself.
Both? Kryn, I'm not surprised.
Had assigned a sizable sum to us, you and myself, and of course your father and sister. We were to carry on the family business, but the grounds, the fortune, he had left. In retrospect, it is funny. He had left them to the butler. In the case of his demise, Kryn seemed already drunk when he stood, pointed a finger at our father. It's been a while, but I remember him boastfully pointing at our father and saying something about plans that would not pan out. And that is when he took the silverware and rammed it into our father's heart. And that is when everything exploded. A flash of arcane energy like I had never seen before, and well, the next I knew, I was here. And I saw the house, but it was not the house. At first I had thought I had perhaps died and this was the afterlife that the sun had given to me. Then I had hoped that perhaps, well, maybe these spirits of your people, as she looks towards Bren, had taken me. And I suppose that must have been true. I'm sorry I left you, Brockton. I should have been a better mother to you.
You have nothing to apologize for. You didn't do this on purpose.
Brockton, I have everything to apologize to you. Your father and I sent you off to a boarding school instead of keeping you close, keeping you with us, to make it easier on ourselves so that we could do what? Run a business? So that we could...
That ultimately spared me from this. Had I not been away at school, I would have been caught in this whatever Kryn did.
But maybe, if I had just cared more about family, then this dinner wouldn't have happened in the first place.
You can't let the past consume you. It serves no purpose. What has happened has happened. It's what we do going forward that matters.
Thank you. I don't think I deserve your forgiveness, but...
For the record, I have only fond memories of... Well, there were a few of the spankings when I was little that I'm not so fond of remembering.
A child needs to be well-disciplined and mannered. And you did choose
and
very colorful words. We had to implement the shame rule very frequently, if I remember. And frankly, it was only the 2 times. That was when you took the magical unguents out of Darius's lab as you were not supposed to. And we all know how that went.
I still have a scarf.
Exactly.
I'm not saying I didn't deserve it.
Well, no, you did not deserve it. It's just, it was stupid.
But I was trying to add a little levity. But I seriously have nothing but fond memories of you. Possibly slightly rose-colored glasses, but I do not hold my fate against you. The last 30 years or so of my life. In fact, I've had a pretty good life. I've worked as a surgeon and hunted strange supernatural beings.
You have?
Yes. The latter mostly came about after I started looking into such things to try and see if I could figure out what happened at the house. But I would have never been a surgeon had you not sent me off to school. And I quite enjoy it.
Good. I did insist that you would take the medical classes. I was hoping that perhaps you would find your way towards the primal. If you went that path. I know I could not act very openly back in the day.
I think I veered a little the other direction for a long time, but I seem to have discovered some of that since arriving here, and I'll use Druidcraft and create a little burst of flower petals.
That is beautiful, Brockton. So you feel nature within you. You feel the grove. It's breathing.
I've always enjoyed nature. I've always enjoyed being in nature. But I never felt connected to it until I arrived here. And the moment I arrived here, something awoke within me. And yes, I feel the grove. I feel the energy pulsing.
Wonderful. She kind of looks down towards Generos, and you can see her mind is kind of like quickly putting things together. And for the first time, Brockton, you see the mother that you used to have, the incredibly sharp-witted woman that led the household. Very much so. Your father always being a little bit of a second seat in practically all affairs of the family. Generos will need a proper burial. The revelers, they must not know yet. I'm afraid that they will wreak havoc when they know that he is gone. And I believe my power is spent, but we must go after Sadia. If I can ask you for
Yes.
this favor.
You don't even need to ask. We were going after her with Cheneros before you were attacked.
Thank you. But if you are going up against Kryn, I must warn you. Unlike us, unlike whatever it is that is causing the blockage between the planes, Kryn seems to have been able to find a way to pierce through it. It will not be easy. How did you manage to come here in the first place?
We were exploring the ruins of Raventree, and we found a portal. And actually, somewhat possibly ill-advised, fled through it without properly exploring it to escape a situation that would not have ended well for us otherwise.
Could you be more precise? I
There
appreciate
were-
the brevity that you're using, but I cannot help you if I do not know what happened.
There were some kind of, I believe they appeared to be some kind of undead.
So
Skeletal
giant
creatures.
skull-looking creatures, the really big, I guess I can do blue and turn into one, but with altered health. But it's a smaller version.
You kind of give it a good. If anything, it's kind of disturbing how much of like his body kind of pops and contorts. It looks definitely kind of like one, though there is skin stretched taut across it. It's more purple in shape. It doesn't have that translucent arcane energy. But as you kind of describe that further, she goes, "An arcane wraith."
Come again?
A what?
An arcane wraith. During my time, though I did not possess the gift that Kryn did, I spent most of my years of my youth studying. I wanted to be prepared in case I did have the spark. I didn't, but not in the way that we all expected. In any case, an arcane wraith. When magic is pushed beyond the limits that are safely established, the spells that we now know, the formulas, the symmetry of symbology that is often used, if incorrect materials are used in the process of arcane casting, there's the risk of an arcane wraith to step into our world. It is hypothesized. Well, at the time, I don't know how far arcane studies have gone, but at the time, we all thought that there was an alternate reality, a reality that was paper thin, almost right next to ours, in that this could easily be pierced. Something that scholars at the time started to name the ethereal, the ether. You may have heard of it before. But it is said that there exist creatures within that context that are attracted to this type of extreme overuse, bending of ether, of the weave itself. And as such, they can pierce that veil and begin to feast upon whomever tries to channel this magic, using them almost like a banquet, a focus point to feast upon. They're incredibly dangerous. In fact, all we ever had back in the day were secondhand accounts of people that were torn asunder by those creatures. That you have survived an encounter with them is phenomenal. How did you?
Fled. We fled.
Yeah, we ran. Yeah.
Good.
We fled through the portal that brought us here. Dumped us right in the middle of the rebel.
There is a portal?
I
Not
saw no
anymore.
sign of it on this side.
Okay, but there is a portal.
Was a
Do you think it's possible that since Kryn can travel the realms, that he's the one responsible for locking you here?
He must be. He has always been selfish. But this is too far. He killed father and then he has created this. He has been hiding in the Shadowfell and... Oh no. I don't know how long he has had to prepare then. It must have been years as well. I know very little about the Shadowfell. I don't know.
I don't know much, but I know a couple of people who do.
Huh.
Turn around.
It's too bad we can't send them a missive.
They're the twins here. Grew up there.
Oh. Oh. My condolences.
No, it's quite lovely. No condolences needed.
I apologize. It's just not the account that I have ever heard of the Shadowfell, but I will take your word on it. So, what is it like living in the Shadowfell?
It's dark,
Dreary,
cold,
colorless.
timeless.
baby.
When you say
What?
timeless, what do you mean? Does time pass as it does in the material plane?
That's an excellent
Yes.
question.
Yes, Bastian, does it?
Yes, DM, does it?
It does. It D's instead.
Yes, I would
You'd
say
be
it
little
does.
bitty babies if it didn't, right?
It's true.
Itty bitty babies with like
Little emo baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It absolutely does. Yes.
Then Kryn must have had 20 years.
Well, sounds like, in pardon my language, we're a little fucked, aren't we?
I don't know about that, but you will
Careful,
have to be
she
careful.
might give you a spanking.
Well,
Oh.
he's a grown man. At this
Not
point,
this.
his
Not
attitude is
this.
very much
Oh
become
no!
part of who he is. There's little that I can now teach him about etiquette, but that aside, he will be dangerous. Kryn, well, he was privileged. More so than he should have been. And when the spark did finally show, he did lean into the studies of the arcane, though he was always callous in his use of magic. If he's had 20 years to actually perfect it, he might be a dangerous arcanist indeed.
Are you opposed to us killing him if we have to?
No. And there's not even a heartbeat. There's no pause. She just immediately goes, not at all. He has killed the love of my life. He has kept my son from me for 20 years. He's killed my father over an inheritance.
Are you certain that grandfather's dead?
I saw him plunge a knife into his heart. I don't...
We found a lot of notes from grandfather.
You did?
He was trying to harness planar energies to do something.
I do remember.
And it seemed like he was intentionally baiting Kryn into doing something rash at that event.
But that makes no sense. I remember now. I apologize. My brain feels like an anvil. Generis and I, we tried to investigate what might be the cause of my inability to cross over. He was able to. She looks at Generos. But I could not. I was tethered. That had something to do with... And she kind of points towards the tree behind her. And as she does, she kind of waves her hand, and you see some of the bark seems to kind of split and recede. And there, it's almost like a conch or like a muscle or something like that opening up, and inside of it you see what seems to be just at irregular asymmetrical intervals are all of these weird pearl-like round gems is not quite the right word, but it's definitely minerals that have been almost polished to a sheen that are just set into it. You can see, this is the weirdest thing, like roots seem to have just pierced through it as if it's nothing and integrated themselves into those pearls. And they are, some of them are larger than Henry's chest. Some of them are as small as an eyeball.
Those were part of it, I believe.
How were they connected? Do you have this research with you?
Some of it.
Good. Walk me through the basics. I can read over this. What are they? We've never been able to find out.
Bryn, you seem to understand this better than I do.
Oh god.
Yes, Brent?
Yes, Bryn. You are the smartest of all of us.
That's
Explain
true.
the pearls.
That's factually correct. My quick recall is just not great
loves
when I'm
books.
intoxicated.
He absolutely loves books and talks about how smart he is all the time. Should be easy for you.
A breeze.
So if I had to wager a guess, those are probably planar pearls, which Darius was creating in order to use the energy of tethered planes to store in crystals, kind of like an arcane battery. We didn't really figure out what he was using that for yet. But basically, if you took something that didn't belong in a certain plane and brought it into that plane, it would collect the essence of that plane around itself, like a pearl. And basically, planes are endless resources of energy because
Right.
they never really run out, even when they're tethered between each other.
I mean, that is basic planar theory. It's okay. Just on a simple level. Are you saying, to backtrack, you say that these pearls were created by my father to collect energy into batteries of arcane nature?
Yeah, like crystals, that I think maybe he was creating in the garden behind the manor, but we hadn't been there before we got attacked by those arcane wraiths. So,
I have not discovered any batteries or crystals within the greenhouse or the maze. But this, as she looks back towards the tree and the pearls once again, this would explain much. I can draw energy from these batteries, these pearls. I don't know what the right term is, but
it's kind of up in the air, really. There's not really a patent on it, so...
what is a patent?
A patent is when you take a word and you claim it so that if other people use it, they have to give you money.
Oh, it
That's
comes back
actually
to me. I think what you're talking
All right,
about
that's a
there,
copyright. That's a
that is
copyright.
incorrect.
That's a copyright.
All right, next contestant, Alex Trebek.
Thank God we have somebody who reads all the books with us.
Give me the research that you have upon you. I will lay Generos to rest, and we need to plan carefully. I cannot simply send you against Kryn. We need to
I fear
rescue
we don't have
Sadia.
much time. Yes, she was already showing signs of the draining, as best I can describe it.
But I just received you. If I send you all in your current state against Kryn, you will die.
Ouchie.
Oh, I'm all in favor of taking some time to recover and formulating a plan during that time, but I don't think we have more than a day, probably.
Who has the
Interesting.
research? Brock, do you have the research? Do I have the research? I will fully just flip my bag upside down and pour everything out of it.
Sorry, do we think that Kryn is in the Shadowfell?
I know this to be the truth.
Yeah. What's the other guy? I'm pretty sure he told us that.
My love, Generos did?
Yeah, sorry, I can never remember his
Are
name.
you quite well? You seem odd.
He
I'm
drank
great.
some of the revelries.
I'm doing
Oh.
great.
Yeah. She kind of walks over and she just kind of boops you on the nose, and with that, the poison ends as you become immediately sober.
Now
should
everything
feel
hurts
better.
more because I'm not drunk anymore. Ow! Ow! Ooh.
Yes, why don't you all take some time then and recuperate? I will do some research because until I figure out how to get you through, I don't know that you can leave. Generos, my love, was the one that could do this, but...
Bastian,
Yes.
I'm a bit confused because I don't think our queen would not be aware that Kryn was in the Shadowfell, and if she was aware, I don't think she wouldn't be able to handle this issue on her own if this was the issue. Do you know? I mean, she sent us here. So.
Do you think maybe he's accumulated so much power that, even though she is very powerful and, all respect to her, maybe he's hiding himself from her somehow?
Possibly, but that would be quite a feat.
Hmm.
Then he's far more powerful than we had imagined.
I think we ought to give him the respect he deserves and the space. At least for now. We need to be careful. That's for certain.
I don't know if these will help, but we have these two, and I'm pretty sure they're from the Shadowfell, so maybe they can be useful. They haven't really done anything for me yet.
Well,
And I will just hand her the dark crystals.
I thought he was talking about us.
so did I.
Also, the twins have been completely and utterly useless.
They haven't been. No, they've been very useful. Please don't hand them over.
Just glad to be reunited with you. I have a somewhat uncomfortable request. I hate the thought that this is somewhat robbing from the dead, but Marcus could use Generos's armor. He's getting beat up like crazy.
It's fine. I would hate to get it from him, from your love. He was a fine man. Or no. Marcus is gonna look at this armor that's like a lot of hides and look back at Brockton and it's just that knowing face that Brockton's had so many times with Marcus of this really isn't my style.
Sometimes function has to trump form.
Not saying that out loud though, because that would be so fucking rude.
You hear me say that in your head because I've said it so many times in the past.
Of course.
Also, you just got a little bit of a taste of my wife's life. Function over form!
Oh, nothing in particular, just whatever's the latest in season. Oh, let's not do leopard print. That has actually become quite tacky. You know how fashion goes.
It'll come back again in 20 years. That just means it's smelly.
Friend, shut up. But thank you. Truly. Thank you.
They're both a bit larger than anything I'm used to using.
Yeah, I'm not really a weapon guy.
He did already give me his sword too, so. Oh.
I'm just not used to such large.
All the casters just staring at the ground.
I can hold on to it in case we need it for something.
Yeah. Uh-huh. What the limitation of who do what? Sorry. Can you be more specific?
So, yeah,
Correct,
she doesn't
yeah.
have Pact of the Blade, so she can't use it with her charisma score, but she is proficient.
A spear. I mean,
that might look. Imagine, CC.
I might have to wear the hide though to really sell the spear. Don't you think?
Oh,
I mean-
awkward. Marcus already has the hide.
Oh,
I don't know if you'll need it.
Henry's carrying the spear. I'm sure you. Henry, wouldn't you give it to me if I wanted it?
I think you could take the spear. Yeah, I think it would look good. You know, like you could like jab things from far away as well.
Oh,
It has a bit of a length.
all right.
Oh.
Do I have enough strength to carry the spear? I am very delicate. All right, I'll try.
Hmm?
Hello?
Oh.
Oh, weird.
You
Awkward.
use those trying to get through that maze. Thank you, Mother. I will certainly take advantage of this.
Well,
Wow, that's a little deep cuts there. Easily.
Yourself.
Well, we've got armor for Marcus now. Henry takes the brunt of the damage when things go down, and that seems to apply to Myriad also. So
Yes, and he's so
Perhaps in-
strong, but I don't suppose you have any more of that, beautiful healing magic that you used on Marcus? I'm just gonna, like, pick up the rag that I'm holding against Henry's wounds and kind of, like, wring it out.
Oh, it's okay. Obviously, she favors the fey creatures. I understand it.
Oh, ouchie.
Oh, you don't know. I guess this is a bit of
Oh.
a spoiler. I figured
Definitely.
if
Yes,
you were
I-
seeing the fey, you could
I
see the
don't-
fey.
Don't try to confuse.
We're in a safe place, Marcus.
This is a
Miriam,
judgment-free
I-
zone, Marcus.
Where to all the gods.
You can just see
We're
Mary
all
like
friends
smiling
here.
evilly.
Ouchie.
You may as well show her.
The Dimitrikov family is not no strangers to working with the Fae. And with that, they'll change and show the long white hair and this, yeah.
We're happy.
Yes.
I suppose you have rooms. Yeah. Oh.
I know this great room with a bunch of mirrors in it. We can go and sleep up there.
Tempting.
You know, for a second I thought you were talking about the red room, but then I realized what you were actually talking about.
Either way.
We've seen the secret chamber in the red room as well.
We've seen the red room, we've seen the blue room, and we've seen the
If there were
in-between
mirrors in
purple
the red room, it's all connected. You know?
Look, this is a safe space. We don't kink shame here.
No. My mind is super broad. I mean, it's wide open.
Yeah. Broad is
Quite
one way
broad.
too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cece. My word.
What?
Good for you.
I feel like Marcus and Broughton, who views her as like a motherly figure saying all this, just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm definitely having some moments.
Hey, she's your mom, which means something had to happen.
She's super hot. Let's just get it out in the open.
My
No,
God.
it's fine. We'll all talk about it. She's beautiful.
She kind of looks like a tree, if we're being honest, if we're being transparent.
Beautiful tree. Like beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Delicious
please stop.
tree.
I'm also just putting the bones of that night thing into my bag. These seem not important, so I'll just go ahead and clear these out of the way for you. The bones of the dead knight thing, the only thing that turned into bones.
He has some affinity for necromancy, unfortunately.
Yeah, honestly, if you've got more bones anywhere, I'll take them. More than one is I really need. Like maybe. Maybe 4.
Yes, he's not doing anything to help the whole elves are evil plot line that the Crown is progressing.
No, absolutely not. But I think it's
Yeah. God, I could never. Ugh.
I just kind of stand there for a second and then just step in to hug her again. And I'm just like, I'm so glad to have found you again. I wish it were under better circumstances. Yes.
Alrighty, we are back. Just before break, Brockton was reunited with his mother, who apparently has been turned into more of a fae than a mere mortal, and most recently turned into what appeared to be a dragon, something that Alex will forever be jealous of. Same though. You spoke, and
So true.
it appears that history, as she recalls it, shows that Kryn stabbed Darius, your grandfather Brock, in the heart, which caused this entire event in the first place. Now, as she is laying Generos into his grave with a beautiful display of different vines growing, flowers blooming, the entire area seems to be turning into more of a beautiful summerscape around you as you watch. It appears that, in a way, this has changed Elsieth for perhaps the better, though her heart does seem to be broken. The hope, the solitude of having at least found her son again, is heartwarming to her. You all are bandaging your wounds, healing up as best as you can. During this time, what would you all like to do?
Their daggers at Myriad for outing me like that.
Myriad was like smiling back.
Do we go back to the manor or do we stay in the grove?
We would very much like to go back to the manor. We don't want to sleep on leaves.
It's like it's one big bed.
Part of me wants to stay here in the grove and continue to explore this connection I've found, but at the same time, I'm getting older and my back is just not up to sleeping on the ground any more than it has to.
Maybe you can ask your mother to
True
make
story.
some beds for us.
You know, sleeping on the ground actually is supposed to be better for your back.
Sometimes it's the getting up off the ground in the morning that's more of a problem. Also a true story!
Yeah.
Meta?
Too meta. Get out of here.
It's too meta.
It's called method. Method.
Meta acting.
Method.
Oh my god.
Well, if we're not staying in the grove, I'm gonna try and find Philippos.
Oh boy.
Oh. Looking like that.
Ow.
Oh,
I think what I'd like to do once we get back to the manor is oh wait, we gave all the research to Mother.
Now it sounds like an alien movie.
But it's all stuck up here.
Mother.
Mother.
Yeah, scratch that plan.
Yeah, that was a bad roll. Oh, you muted.
That was a lot of muted cursing, I feel like.
yeah.
I saw the
I'll just
shake.
take out the
though.
knife
I
and
saw
yeah.
that.
I'll take it back that way. Just
Right instead.
if you don't like it.
Ah, my health.
I'm just trying to help if you're going to go after whoever.
Can you I just gesture at all of the blood.
As it disappears.
Um,
The clear holes upon your garb very much still remain, but at least it's prettier now. At least it's not bloodstained. As Marcus rolls his eyes, sits down, and starts to slowly kind of mend back and forth. It's almost like he's using his finger with like a magical piece of yarn, kind of like appearing.
You don't have to mend it. If everything goes well, the clothes won't matter.
Appearance still matters, and from the looks of it, your wit wasn't nearly as sharp when it came to Well, there's. We gotta really play up what you do have. Little pat on the cheek. Continues to mend the clothes.
As far as I remember, I sealed the deal. It was perfect.
Right. Right.
I think I would like to stay here in the grove for a little while. But if the rest of you want to go back to the manor, I'll catch.
Of course, take all the time you need. I'm sure you want to discuss more with your mother too.
It's not even that. I've never been much for meditation, but I feel like I need to try and explore this connection I've suddenly found, and this seems the right place to do it.
Marcus is gonna like put his hands on Brockton's shoulders and like pat and then go in for a hug and just I'm really glad we at least found her.
So am I.
Sorry about your sister though.
So am I.
And your stepdad.
But
So am I.
we'll get this all sorted out. Come on. Gotta try to get everyone. Henry, I'll help. Right, Henry, I'll help you when we get back to.
I could sleep it off it too. It's no worries. You know, like,
Okay.
No, he's probably fine.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
More healing for Bryn then, and Celine, you as well. You do not look so good.
Oh, ouchie. Ooh,
That's not
owie.
once. I'm just dragging Bryn at this point. Like, give Brockton peace.
Alrighty, who? So everyone except for Brockton is leaving, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Alrighty, cool. As you guys head
As
out,
we go.
where in the manor do you guys go?
Have we found like guest rooms at all?
Good question.
You know of colored rooms that are,
Nope.
No,
Absolutely
those
not.
are reserved.
Oh, all right.
Can we go sleep on the giant flower? Or is that room off limits?
You could go there. It'd be kind of cuddly, but I don't see a problem with that.
I want to sleep in the flower. With all my friends.
I would probably start in the banquet hall or whatever, because that was the last place that I saw Philippos before we left.
Bryn, roll me another D100, please.
Oh no!
Another burly, like, centaur.
Hey,
The centaur sandwich. As you head back in there and the raucousness once again carries forward, people laughing and cheering with one another, you look around, your eyes searching for your straight-backed, beautiful centaur man, and there's no sign. As you remember, he did mention he was going to go on a hunt, so it appears that he's still out.
Oh.
I was gonna wait for someone. Where would I go?
You could probably hang out here if you really want to.
It's like loud and gross.
Mhm.
And is there like a porch?
Yes, there absolutely is. There's like hobgoblin soldiers that are walking around and kind of, patrolling the outside.
I'll go find a seat somewhere out on the porch.
All right.
If there's like one of those like grandma and grandpa's house swinging benches, I'll sit on one of those.
Well, let's say that there's something
You mean
akin to
a
that.
swing?
No, grandma
a
and
swing
grandpa
is one
swinging
chair.
benches.
I'm specifically talking about the ones that look like a bench.
Not
I don't
in
know.
the
When I
red
grew up, we
room.
called this porch swing. But
You know, Bryn, I could suggest that the gods send someone to the rooms that you're in, if you'd like.
What?
May I? Don't play coy with me. I see you, and I saw it earlier. If you want, I can suggest that someone here tells your beau where you are, where to find you.
Okay. When you said it first, it didn't really compute in my brain, and it started to sound very magically non-consensual, and I was like, "Ooh, no."
No. No. Just that while you're sleeping, I could suggest that someone tells them. I mean, you could just ask them to tell them too, I guess. No, you're right. That does sound.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
I'll
just
just
play
wait.
the
I'm
sentence
like,
while
I
you're
appreciate the
sleeping.
thought.
I could suggest.
I appreciate where this is coming from. I can tell it's coming from a place of friendship and
did.
kindness.
did.
I'll just wait here,
Right.
actually.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
I need sleep.
That would be wise.
All right, the other four of you leaving Bryn to his grandma bench.
It was just to make sure they would tell him. It was...
Yep.
All right. Good night.
Makes complete sense. We
Yep.
forget that suggestion is a spell in D&D.
Oy.
There's also mass suggestion, and then it just gets worse. And...
Ooh. Everyone to the red room.
Yeah. As the four of you make yourself back, find yourself back towards the room that Treneros and Elsieth have clearly shared for many a year together. What do you guys do or say now that you guys are out of earshot of Brockton? Twins especially. You are, if you think about it, you are in the presence of two otherworldly creatures. One of them that hails from the Feywild themselves, and another one that was created with whatever happened at the house. Maybe an opportunity to make alliances, craft plans.
You know, I have something to say. Does anybody else really hate it here? I don't know, it's just too happy.
Yes.
Everyone's too jovial.
Colors, the flowers, the.
I know.
Yes.
Go home.
Ugh.
I understand that perhaps you were not raised around all of this, but no, it feels like home. At least what I remember of it.
It's kind of nauseating, honestly.
Oh, that one room in particular, that first room, yes, absolutely disgusting. Fun, but
Yes.
I thought that was quite enjoyable, that room, but it could have just been alcohol at that point.
True. Well, what are we gonna do about Kryn? Seriously.
We are going to eat him.
Oh, that would be lovely. I mean, I'm sure that'd be fine to dine.
If we give you Kryn, will you give us back Henry?
No, we will just eat him.
What?
That was not our deal.
can you? Nope, actually, I don't want to know if you can do that.
No, actually, that was our deal. No, that was exactly our deal. You were going to give us back Henry if we helped you.
Yeah, if you helped me escape the house, not if we eat Kryn. That, the Kryn part is a bonus for myself. But I will 100% eat him.
So hungry. My goodness. It's like you haven't eaten in forever.
Well, it seems he has a lot of power. So if we want to eat Kryn, I think we need to come up with a serious plan on how we plan to destroy him. You know, the classical stab, you're dead. But I don't think this is going to be one of those situations. I think it's going to require a little more creativity.
It does seem like he is one of those types like that casts a lot of magic, like you. I guess all three of you. So if we can figure out a way to hamper that, that would be, I think, beneficial in the long run.
Right.
I'm afraid any of the spells I would use in order to dampen one's abilities aren't going to work here. The Fae are notorious for being unable to charm.
Right.
You guys got sick when you entered the Fey realm. I wonder if we can somehow either bring him here and then he would be sick, or maybe bring a piece of like the Fey with us to him and then kind of like intoxicate him almost, to make him
Right.
sick, and then he would, hopefully be a little bit on the weaker side.
Right.
Well-
And what do you think would lure him here? What would he want the most? If you were Kryn, what could bait you into coming into the Feywild? What's good enough? Because I think that's an excellent plan, honestly.
I think that might be a question more for Brockton, but maybe his mother. It seemed like they really had a thing for his mother, wanting to kill her. So maybe if he knew solid way, but
I don't feel comfortable using her as bait.
Well, I do.
yes,
Well, I
Same.
don't.
I'm fine with it as well.
All right.
This is my dearest friend's mother we are talking about that he just reunited with.
But she's a super powerful Archfey dragon, is she
Of
not? Or
course
did I
she is.
misunderstand?
I'm
that?
sorry, but were we not witnessing the same fight?
But then
With,
we would be
what
there.
was his name? Scorncrow?
Yes, that's right.
That wasn't even... I mean, I can't even imagine his level of power.
That's fair. That is fair. It was
Perhaps
just a thought.
Bryn could
I
bring
mean,
him
you,
back.
Myriad, I don't expect to have any sense of humanity left in you, but the two of you...
Fake gasp.
Yes, fake gasp all you want. I've grown quite fond of you two. But I would ask that you respect my friend and his wishes and the purpose for being here. I'm sure you will have your own reasons for following Brockton, but I ask that we still stay kind to each other. No?
Right.
I think that is beneficial for the group overall and freeing me, so I agree.
Henry. Gods, could you please not look like him anymore? It's weird. And I recognize it's weird for me to say that, but...
I think I really like the
Kettle?
unsettling nature of it,
Mm.
so I think I will
Yes,
keep it.
but, That's really what I look. Seem like.
You're perfect. You don't have to worry about anything, Marcus. You're incomparable.
You put on that charm and yet...
Oh, this whole thing.
It was complicated.
Marcus,
I...
forgive us, because we did grow up in a bit of a different place, and perhaps some of the customs that seem strange to you are not strange to us. My brother is an incredible person, and cares for you, obviously, very much, and would... Is Bryn here, or am I
No,
side-eyeing,
no,
like...
I'm not. No,
Phantom
I'm
of-
not.
Okay.
I'm not here.
You're side-eyeing the very, very explicit
Side-eye.
statues of Elsa
Little,
in this
like,
room.
doot, 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 like my thought cloud is like Bryn going, and then I'm like, pop it. Cares for you very much. And if this is something that means a lot to you, I know it would mean quite a bit to us. And we are tasked with helping Brockton. And so, of course, we want to do that.
Well, I apologize if I've come off harsh at all. I suppose I am just defensive when it comes to Brockton. Well, childhood friend. I do apologize. I understand that, you've lived a life where you had to, I imagine, sacrifice much and anything in order to rise to the top and be as powerful as you are. You give off that kind of dark energy. I don't.
Mm. It's all.
You think we're powerful?
Yes,
They think we're powerful.
of course. Listen, yes,
Well
incredibly
perceived.
so.
I agree. Don't worry.
I ask a bit of humanity. That's all I ask for. I do agree. Perhaps it could weaken him in some sense if he was here, but at the same time, what if it has the opposite effect? He is likely trying to draw out Brockton's mother by kidnapping both daughters. It's obvious there's some sort of power. In fact, if anything, I'm more worried about Brockton meeting his uncle. Especially with this newfound power of his. Is he just going to be pinned up on the tree like that as well?
Right.
So we'd bring him to the normal house then. You know, I just don't
That's a
think
good idea.
fighting him in like his home turf, so to speak, is the best of ideas.
But then how are we to free his half-sister?
We do that, and then maybe he comes and tries to rescue the half sister.
Well,
Use her as bait.
you know, I also just thought, what if he's drawing power from the tree? And in doing so, he's also drawing power from the sister. So maybe the sister is currently acting as a battery of some sort. I mean, I can't really think of a reason why he would have her in a tree. And the tree seems to be a central focus to pretty much everything we've done so far.
David, remind me when it came to the tree. It wasn't just Brockton's sister and half-sister. There were like a lot of people pinned up in that tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, does that sound familiar at all? Any kind of readings, studies that you were, I don't know, does that have some sort of significance to the two of you? This kind
The
of...
tree in the
Yes.
Shadowfell.
Yes.
Hmm.
Not to sound obtuse or anything, I just, not really did any studies involving the Shadowfell.
Don't think so. David,
Mhm.
highly doubt it. I don't think so. But would we have seen like a noticeable tree with people in it? I feel like that could be like a common thing. Maybe also. I don't know.
Make me a history or religion check, your choice.
Cool.
And Celine, you too, why not?
Oh, good God.
Don't forget to call out.
Oh,
You
boy.
Five. 5.
Oh, 18.
Ooh. Sebastian, no. Trees don't really grow in the Shadowfell. I mean, they exist, but they are these weird, rotten things. If anything, they're kind of ugly. Maybe you always
Made out
prefer...
of bones.
Yeah, exactly, like plain
Hmm.
mountains. Celine, though, you remember stories of a vampire whose vampiric blood was fed to a tree once upon a time, and that tree became the Golthias tree, a sentient thing, monstrous with a maw, that consumed those that were brought as sacrifice and offering. And with that, that gives you a bit of an idea, a bit of a spark of a thought. What happens when you concentrate something like the Shadowfell's dark energies in one place too much? Here, it seems that the proximity of these pearls, this quintessence of the Fae, seems to have changed and altered and twisted Elsieth from a mere mortal woman, a human, into something that is much more akin to a nymph. and even a fey dragon. That is absurd. That is insane. That is a transfer and transformation of and through power that you have never heard of before. But it is not impossible. Which also makes you think, and this is in context to a question that you guys had earlier, the queen, she does not care what happens in the Shadowfell. It is not the Shadowfell truly, that the Shadowfell is truly her. She controls everything within it. She simply resides, because that is how she funnels souls into the stream of souls that ultimately pass into the afterlife. She is there because the plane has an affinity to death, being steeped in negative energies in the negative plane, touching upon that. There is much that she does not control, nor wishes to. There is no crusade to make the Shadowfell a palatable place. The Shadowfell is not wild. The Shadowfell is not controlled. The Shadowfell is death, inevitably, slowly creeping towards you. And those energies, the things that live within that darkness, are manifold. So a tree that is suffused with that much of it, why, it could be an entity in and of itself.
Have I ever seen trees like that in the Shadowfell?
I'd say no. They are not necessarily a common occurrence. And like I said earlier, trees are not necessarily a thing that is there much. Foliage in general needs light, needs, rich soil to grow, and the Shadowfell does not have that.
Okay, I'll kind of like relate all of that to everyone.
So maybe we could burn his tree, right? That would potentially hamper him or hurt him, weaken him. If the tree is somehow connected.
I agree. Well, we could do Brock the favor of saving the sister and the other individual, I forget, but...
And then chop down the tree at the same time, and then...
Yes. Yeah. And then light it on fire.
An awful lot to do.
Well, we have
Fair
Bryn, and, Bryn is pretty annoying sometimes, but he does have an affinity for magic. Perhaps he could come up with something. Don't tell him I said that, though.
I wouldn't dare. Whatever you three have going on, I try to stay out of it as best.
Friendly competition. Is all.
Friendly, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we're involved, it's always friendly, because usually we don't really have a problem winning, I suppose.
There it is. There it is.
Anyway, I say we burn the tree down. Now, how do we get there?
As we wait for Brockton's mother.
Yes, she was going to look into a way to get us there, I think. That's what she was going to do for the evening.
Now, I do imagine if there was a portal to here in the house,
Right.
we didn't explore the full house.
No, we could go do that if we want. We could start in the mirror room. That sounds lovely.
Why are you... Why?
I am curious, though. I am curious of what that room is like on this side.
That is my reasoning as well, yes. I'm just curious of what it is like on this side.
Yes, of course it is. I
Alright.
don't want to consume all of us.
I mean, we've all seen that I can't really do anything with the mirrors before, right? I tried earlier, and it didn't really work, so...
Alright.
So we want to go portal hunting and just, walk around the house a little bit and see if we see any strange glowing portals?
To be clear, I don't know how to get back to the original house. That's the house I'm talking about. I don't imagine there would be a portal here. I mean, if there was. Well, actually, how did Scorn Crow show up?
Exactly. There could be a portal here. We haven't found it yet. Portal hunting?
Myriad, you are on no condition, I think, right now, too.
Yes. Indeed. Perhaps we should sleep first.
I don't think it's going to harm us like walking around the house. This place is full of fake creatures, and we have the badges that say we're on the queen side.
Yes.
Didn't we just hear, and forgive me, I'm no scholar, but that these sort of like siphons of great arcane energy create these like arcane wraiths that we almost died to earlier? Like it just happens to create those things?
If we
Right,
see a
when-
portal, we run.
Yes. Into it?
So we
Away
look
from
for
it.
a portal, and then if we find one, we run?
Yeah, just like run away very fast.
Oh, run away. Run away. Perfect.
Because yes, that
I
is
see.
true. With that, those wraiths are drawn to them.
Mm.
Right. And you know, while we're portal hunting, I will warn you, Myriad, I respect you deeply because the whole charade in the beginning, you really had all of us fooled. But if you try anything, I will dismember you, alright?
I was really proud of that. But there will be no
Well,
need. I have to get
good.
out of the house.
Perfect. I'm glad we have an understanding.
Also,
We-
to be quite clear, Myriad, I don't appreciate you revealing my secrets like that.
Oh,
I would never do that for you. And I would appreciate that very basic respect.
I will also say, in my defense, she's like a queen of the Fae. I figured that she just kind of knew, right? It was, I don't really know how it works, right? If you guys all know each other, hang out at the same places.
Well, you know what they say about assumptions?
Yep.
That should be a phrase at least you're familiar with. It's been around forever.
Yeah, I have heard it before. I have heard it before.
Good,
All
good. Keep it
right,
in
so
mind.
now we know. Now we know. No outing each other to queens of other realms.
To anyone.
Or anyone, yes.
Or anyone. Now we know.
Perfect. We're getting along so well right now.
It is wonderful.
I am going to
I think we
attempt to
should
rest.
sleep. Yes, I think we should sleep as well.
It is about 2,
Portal hunting
2:30
in the
in the
morning?
afternoon, just as an FYI of like
Ooh.
a general where you guys are at time-wise. If anyone wanted to take a short rest, you could definitely take a short rest during this. That said, though, yeah, if you guys want to explore around, go portal hunting, as you guys call it, you could certainly do that.
Or we could just drink a whole bunch and pass out.
Yeah. D&D drinking games
Perfect.
are also good.
So real quick, I did cast Cure Wounds on Henry, and it didn't roll for me. I don't know if it... Like, on my
Why is
screen,
that
I'm
doing
not
to
seeing
both
the
of you
roll. It
guys?
consumed the spell slot, but...
And you had them targeted, right? Oh, it's probably because you weren't within touch distance.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Because Henry's an enemy. That's why.
Oh,
Right.
You
Nah, I'll
can,
let for now.
heal your enemies.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Try
true.
it one more time without consuming a spell slot.
Yeah, okay.
And if that happens
Target.
again, just roll the die and do the math yourself how it's supposed to.
Okay.
That's because it has no effect on constructs.
There we
and
go.
Henry is a construct of multiple dead people smashed into one.
He's a Gestalt
this is a
person.
good point. Good point.
Roland is ones with healing, but still better than Prince.
All right,
So
so
portal
are we gonna
hunting?
go? Yeah, portal hunting. Let us go.
All right.
All right. Who wants to
Alright.
take
then
lead
take a
on the
rest.
portal hunt?
Purple Henry Rebel, he knows his house. He's lived in this house for years.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And who
There
wants-
we go.
Who would like to aid in this endeavor?
I can help out.
All right,
Oh, unless
Sebastian.
unless Marcus wants to. Okay.
No, no.
Is there anything else that you guys are looking for as you're waltzing through the halls?
I think Marcus is definitely gonna ask to go look through the library, and he might get a little distracted, be left behind there
Okay.
if it looks like there's any information.
Sure thing. Anything else?
Didn't realize it was only 2 in the afternoon. I thought it was much later than that for some reason.
Nope.
So probably after like an hour, I would probably try and find everyone again.
It's like a missed connection date situation. Oh.
Oh.
I thought it was like late evening already for some reason.
Nope. That's just because 6 to 8 encounters per long rest, Tyler. As you guys are going through, searching for stuff, Bryn, you kind of hear them jabbering, walking through the halls. As you kind of catch up with them, walking through there. Walking by you guys are coming back and forth a whole bunch of what looks like goblinoid staff. They have like what are very hilariously kind of patched together pieces of the clothing that people who would be a staff at a manor like this wear. Henry, Myriad, you might feel some type of way, for those were the clothes that your multiple personalities once wore when they served within the house.
I don't know if Henry likes that.
As you guys are pushing through, any reaction to Bryn rejoining the group?
We are going portal hunting. We're going to go start at the room of the mirrors on the 3rd floor.
Yes.
We're what?
We're portal hunting, just in case there happens to be a portal or anything really cool looking inside of the house that we might be able to pick up and take with us. I don't know, something cool.
I
But mainly
look
portals.
at Myriad, who is still just covered in blood and wounds, and I look at everyone else and how physically and mentally drained we are. All right.
Go with it, Bryn.
But we do have a rule, though. If we see a portal, we are running in the opposite direction, just in case there's like an arcane race.
Oh, so we're walking to danger and then immediately running away from said danger.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly, yes.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Very intelligent plan.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that there's danger, too, right? I mean, we're just,
Of course.
just guessing.
We're always in danger. Let's face it anyway.
For an hour. And this is what happens.
Sebastian, go ahead and make me an Arcana check if the DC, or if you match the DC of 10. Henry, Myriad, you will have advantage on your Arcana check, trying to search your way through the place. Nice!
10!
You have advantage. Beautiful.
Woo!
All right. Ian, Arcana, advantage. 23.
Dang.
There we go.
Ooh.
You guys search high and low, and you find yourselves kind of like walking through. You see what appears to be a beautiful, almost like a totemic representation of something that very much resembles Salvaria within the entry hall of this. As you guys, of course, make your way towards the library, as Marcus had asked, as you guys walk in there and start to kind of look around, the thing that is probably the most fascinating about the place is that, if anything, it doesn't even really look like a library anymore. You look around and there's, some remnants of balconies. As you try to kind of like find different things, it seems like a lot of the books have been ripped. Torn out pages are scattered throughout the area of this. And as you look about, it seems like this place has been used for anything but being a library.
What?
Just
The
tears,
worst.
silent tears.
The worst. I hate it here.
I know. Let's go.
What's that? Would I see that symbol? I don't know what the elevation is like. Would I see that like arcane symbol circle from where I'm standing?
Technically, no, but I'll say with the 23 investigation, Henry, you kind of tell people like, hey, why can't we just like look around, climb up? And you guys indeed search around as you clamber upon a balcony.
Oh, hi guys.
We fly! Whee!
I don't have this spell.
Oh, we just appeared.
And indeed, as you guys walk there, you see something familiar upon the ground.
Oh. Bryn, think this is all you?
You found it, so
I mean,
be my guess.
But you have the little sketching. You have a sketching of something already made up, don't you?
Oh,
I
did
think-
you hand that to...
Oh,
Or does Brock have it? Oh my gods.
I don't know if I would have given the sketch to Brock's mom.
You said you
I would have
dumped
given her-
all your stuff out, right?
That doesn't mean she took everything.
Just slapped her hand away whenever she tried to like pick it up. Just like, nope, not that one.
You made, but if you remember, you did make copies in your spell book of that stuff. And
Right, that's what I meant. Like, I would have given her the book that had, like, Darius's notes and sketches, but I don't think I would have given her mine.
yeah, your own notes, like anything that you've made on the side, would not be necessarily part of it, especially if it's a
Yeah.
spell book.
Yeah. I was very confused. I realized there's this, like, fonts over my character, and I was like, is there a magnifying glass on me?
Yes.
I was wondering the same thing.
Brain becomes an interactable object in like those search games.
I was like, what the hell? Okay. But yeah, I'll take out my notes.
Alrighty, as you take out your notes, go ahead and make me. This is your choice. Do you want to make an investigation or a Arcana check?
Can you tell me what the difference in information would be depending on the two?
Depends on. I mean, it'll be the magical nature, magical use of this, as opposed to its current state, or like physical versus the theory.
Like, Arcana would be, this is what it does. Investigation would be, can we still use it?
Perhaps.
I'll do an investigation. Because I feel like we know as much as we need.
Then
Out
who
the
wants to make an
portals.
Arcana check?
Nobody jump up at once.
I'm pretty decent. I've dabbled in the arcane studies, but I don't know if I'm the best choice. Suppose I can try.
Well,
Is it make an arcana check?
Mhm.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I'll just do it. Boop.
Okay.
9.
ooh,
Okay.
I rolled bad too.
You both can tell that there's. I mean, this is very much like described, right? There seems to be a magic circle here, much like a teleportation circle you have seen now multiple pieces of, and this one is similar, but it seems to be simpler than the one you've seen in Darius's bedroom. But there's still a lot of heavy modification to it, but to what end, you're not quite sure. And as you look upon it, you can only guess what might be wrong with it. It does look like there's some cracking along the ground. There seems to be some damage to it, though for the most part it is all there, you think?
I know mending doesn't restore magic, but if we were to mend the actual foundation, could I try and basically rewrite the sigils?
The sigils, no. You would remake the stone underneath it. It's like mending, for example, if you
Right,
take a
right. If we
page,
were-
yeah. It
I
just makes
just
the parchment
can't-
happen, but it doesn't make the words reappear. So
Right. I
You
just
don't-
can't write over cracks. So if we
Right.
were to fill in the cracks, could Bryn then go over and rewrite the
with the
sigils?
materials that you have at hand, that depends. How would you make that? What would Bryn do? Because carving sigils is an enchanter's duty, and usually Ugwin's takes crystals that are powdered and then
Chalk.
filled in there.
Stuff I didn't grab from Darius's room.
I mean, if you need materials, right? I think there might be some here, right? I mean, Brockton's, stepdad, seemed, to be a very spellcastery in nature, so maybe he has some in his closet. We can go in there and see.
Maybe.
Marcus. You do remember that Gennaros give Brockton something.
Wait, Brockton has something? Or
Are you gonna get a DM inspiration? I don't know. You tell me.
No. Oh no.
And by the way, Sebastian, DM inspiration for you for seeing the thing in obvious plain sight.
Thanks.
Inspiration for David not fog of warring the important stuff.
All I remember is the coat and the oh fuck, what was it?
Let us down, Marcus.
I will let
Yeah,
you
I
phone
know.
a friend if you need David's help.
DM uninspiration.
Look.
Can I burn my DM inspiration?
No, don't
for
you
a
dare
reminder?
waste that. Don't waste it on Marcus again. Don't do that.
Do you want me to
he's
tell you
already-
what's on my my inventory list?
I mean, I guess I could cheat and look at everyone else's character sheet, but yeah, sure.
It's the orange crystals.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about those two.
Cool. So we do have orange crystals. Do we still have those cold, dark crystals, or were those also handed to?
I gave him to what's her face.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Do we really want to be reassembling a portal without letting the Archfey of this realm know what's happening inside her own home? I mean, I love the idea, and I love the initiative, but, before I go out mending the foundation.
But like, wasn't she all? I don't know how to get you back to the Shadowfell. So finding
I'm
out.
just
how to
I'm
do
just saying to
that.
tell her.
But she's all the way back in the grove, isn't
my
she?
God. So, right, sorry, I apologize. So we're just gonna activate the portal, and hopefully Brockton will hear our screams in case something happens.
Well, no, he
No.
probably won't. He probably won't hear our screams.
Crystals.
So
I
yes,
think we need-
yes,
I think we
that's
need
not true.
Brockton.
How far away is he? Because
A 15-mile hike. No, you just go through
Ugh.
like a little bit of a maze. Maze.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
Hey,
like
it's
a tiny
names.
block.
It's all the same in the Fey realm.
Our quads are gonna be.
Is he within
swole from all this
120
walking.
feet of where we are?
Let me measure it, but I'm gonna say probably not. No.
I mean,
Like the grounds themselves are more than that. And in the house itself is more than that.
yeah.
Though if you have a sending spell.
120
I
feet
have
would get you to the
message.
dining room.
Brockton.
I could just summon a demon to go get him. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No. I
That's
guess.
I
a
could
new spell.
send Ricketts to go get him, but that would probably take a while.
Well, so I can go and get him. Unless one of you. I mean,
You shouldn't go
sounds
alone. I'll look at Bastian briefly.
I could always fly us over there. I could.
He is so strong.
oh,
You
she
should
is-
probably
I
conserve
noticed that.
resources.
Well,
Well,
you
that's
know,
true.
I
Out
only
the
need
buddy
short rest,
system.
darling.
I would hate for you to use any more of your arcane abilities than need be, but I would welcome a stroll with you.
Perfect. All right. That sounds lovely to me. The rest of you don't go anywhere. Don't activate the portal. I don't think you can anyway, but
I'll be back.
Alright,
I'll just
We'll just
give CC a wink.
hear.
Marcus, you hide
My
over,
Marcus will offer Sebastian's arm.
you hide
I
over
love
back
you.
to the Dreaming Grove. During this time, Brockton, you and your mother reconnected and you helped her in the rites that ultimately laid Gennaros to rest what, if anything, did you want to talk to her about once she did that?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I suppose. I guess I'd want to know if she knows what happened to my father. And I guess just whatever she wants to tell me about her time here that's important to her. I mean, I know about Cherneros and Sedea, obviously, but outside of that.
About your father, she will say, I turned to your sister. When the flash happened, I was shielded her with my own body. And she and I were brought here. Your father was not with us. I tried to find him, I tried to help him, but nothing of him remained as far as I could tell.
Was anyone else brought here other than you and Basila?
A couple people, yes. Some ladies and a lord of one of the other houses. It's funny, I don't even remember their names. Meaningless, really. They tried to set out. They never came back. I stayed here. I knew there was something binding me to this place, something that prevented me from doing more, and I don't know. I wanted to go back. I was hoping that your father was still on the other side, but I suppose I know now that is not true.
Everyone in the house simply disappeared. There were no corpses to be found or survivors. Perhaps he's been in the Shadowfell this whole time, but based on what we observed with that tree, if Kryn's found him, then there's probably very little chance he's still alive.
I suppose that could be true. What a terrible fate our family fell upon. It is weird to think that we were such a rising star. And now look at us. Shattered, fractured. Split across the plains. All because of ambition. Avarice. Greed. Do you think you would want to stay here with me? Eventually. I understand that there are things that you need to do.
Perhaps.
What is the house like on the other side?
It's more of a ruin than a structure these days.
I see. Are you thinking about rebuilding it? Perhaps. Forgive a mother, but raising a family.
Okay.
It is not too late.
I might be getting a little old for that.
Say no such thing.
It's not something I've considered.
I know many an amazingly well-read nymph within this realm. I would be more than happy to set up a tea. You know you are still
not
quite
right
the strapping
now.
young man.
As far as the house goes, dodge.
Yeah.
As far as the house goes, the crown has basically said that whoever clears it out can have it and the title that comes with it. That's part of why we were there, but it was, for me, it's more about, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything of the family left there that I would want as a keepsake or whatever. I had no interest, and still have no interest really, in being lord of that or any other place.
Good.
But if we manage to secure the house, I was going to give the option to any of the others who wanted it.
Now, I must say, the entourage with which you surround yourself with these days is interesting.
They were assembled for the various skills that they bring.
See.
The twins are much more knowledgeable of supernatural and occult things than any of the rest of us, and their insights have proven quite valuable.
Good. Brockton,
Bryn,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I must
you're
say I'm a bit concerned about the legacy of our fathers. If he created all of this inadvertently through his research, and our home is the epicenter of this fracture, it must stop. This is unnatural. This is something that breaks the bounds and limits of planar ropes? I don't know what else to call them, but I feel it in my bones that this is not as it ought to be. I believe it is this crossover, this split nature that drove me mad in the first place.
it could be. I suspect that this is the planar displacement is an unintended side effect of whatever grandfather's plan was and his research into this planar tethering. I think he was ultimately motivated trying to find a way to reconnect with grandmother, but and I think he was looking for some way to either achieve some form of immortality or perhaps some form of reincarnation, because there was apparently he was declaring himself his own heir somehow.
No, that is impossible. He specifically said that Usk would inherit everything. He disinherited Kryn in front of an audience, Brock. That is why Kryn acted in the way he did. It is uncouth and barbaric. Patricide? Over money?
It would not be the first time.
I know. I never saw our family.
We all know that Kryn was cruel and somewhat unhinged to begin with.
It's true.
Speaking of, we've developed a theory that perhaps Vivesna was an elf in disguise. Do you happen to know anything about the veracity of that thought?
We had our suspicions. How did you come to that conclusion?
Remember, how did we come to that conclusion?
Was it a diary or a vision? It was one of the two. Diary or vision? I don't remember.
There's definitely a vision involved. But
I think Celine puzzled it out somehow. I'm not quite sure.
What?
She is a clever one. What about her? I mean, if it is the nymph thing, we must still speak of your future, Brockton. We cannot simply let the line die with you.
I'm afraid I'm not her type. She prefers larger, more muscly men. Apparently a bit younger as well.
Oh, she will grow out of that stage. We all have them. So, maybe 5% chance? Listen, you cannot deny a mother little babies. We want them. We need them.
Well, then let's get Sadea safe.
No, I want to see you happy too. Dying alone and lonely is just not a way to go.
Says I'm alone and lonely.
Look at you. The dour expression. A smile on you is a horizontal line. A little happiness.
We've been reconnected for all of an hour,
and I still want the best for you. That is correct.
Your husband just died. I just found out my sister's dead. I found out the half-sister that I didn't know I had is
precisely. How much more death can we take? Let's bring a little life into this world. That is all I am asking.
I'm just saying, give me a little more time and maybe I'll smile again. But right now, it's been a little bit of a rough couple of days.
Fine. Back to the pressing problem then, I suppose. Brockton promised me something. Destroy the home. The manor. Raven Tree. It should not belong to anyone. It now carries a curse of our family upon it that must be discontinued. It does not matter if any of your friends want to carry some title of nobility. Let them have the land and rebuild somewhere else. But Raven Tree, it must burn.
I can agree to that.
Good. Now, all right, I'm just going to bring it up one more time. What about, and as Marcus, you kind of like enter the scene with it like, we will still speak more of your future later. Hello, Marcus.
Hello. I apologize if I'm interrupting anything.
You're fine.
We're exploring the house, and we happened upon some sigils that we recognize.
Sigils?
Yes, on the floor, arcane circle. In the library, it seemed to be quite broken apart, but...
Indeed, it was a teleportation circle that Father often used to try to get to the capital and back.
Oh. I see. Well, Bryn and the others have it in their head that we could, rework it somehow. Or fix it anyways, and perhaps use that as a portal, but, they figure we'll need the orange crystals?
This entire time.
That I don't know yet. But, they're willing to give it a shot.
Before we do, Brockton here told me about the agreement that Generis and you came upon during the burial.
Oh, I would... You just buried the man you love.
And
the person you love. We can...
man of his word. And I would be a very poor partner if I did not carry on his legacy.
Now
tell me again, so that I understand properly. Brockton kept looking in a little journal, trying to remember what exactly it was that Generis promised you. What agreement did you come to, the three of you?
Well, part of the agreement was indeed to return you to, I believe, this state. You wanted to see summer again within your court.
Well, it appears that you have held up your end of the bargain, then.
I'm sorry, you all made an agreement
They're not there. You didn't want to walk over there.
Yes,
No,
I-
he did. He
no.
did.
No, you're not.
I did.
We had a romantic walk in the maze. Thank you.
Ooh. As Sebastian's
Yes,
like picking
Sebastian.
like pieces from the hedge mazes off himself. You made an
Oh,
agreement.
What are you talking about? Oh, what is that? Oh God. Oh God.
You got. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Yes. What is this about an
Um,
agreement? I wasn't included.
As
A
far as I know,
personal,
it was not including you.
Ooh.
personal business ways to
Oh. All right.
you know.
If it's
Apologize.
awkward now, I could always
No,
just.
no, no. Stay.
All right. So I'll just listen.
But I do believe. Well, it feels a bit empty now without him, though. I feel a bit bad. That we've somewhat brought you here, and yet he. Well, you know. But my end of the bargain, or at least what I had requested, was for. Well. And some help in my predicament on how I am tied to the Dimitrikov family, currently. Perhaps a cure for the actual Marcus, or just, if I could have my name returned to me. So I could go home. At some point.
I do not know how to easily return your name if it was taken from you, my dear, but if you were to become part of my court, I would promise you that I would take as many seasons as it takes to restore your name to you.
While I do appreciate it, and that certainly feels the easier out, I have a fondness for the actual Mark. I would wish to ease his troubles, whether that be to wake him up or
Then perhaps.
And-
And she kind of looks up towards the tree, and she kind of puts up her hand, and you see one of the branches kind of lean down as she plucks an acorn from it, and the branch goes back up. She takes some vine that seems to just grow off of her and kind of strings it into a very simplistic looking, almost like a child maybe made it, pendant. Take this with you. It will protect you until you can give it to the real Marcus. And it carries within it some of the power that this tree has. It might be possible that it will bring him back.
thank you.
Thank
You.
And this might not be much, but both of you. She kind of awkwardly looks at Sebastian.
It's all right.
Apologies. A fey word is a
Fine.
fey word. Would you be so kind as
Sure.
to step here?
Who?
She looks at Brockton and Marcus.
Oh, okay. I was
But
like,
up closer, like,
Sebastian does
hey.
me.
Brockton does also step over. She takes both of your hands. She closes her eyes, and you can feel the heat kind of emanating off of her as roses and tulips, lilies and orchids seem to kind of blow in a grow in a circle around you all. And as they kind of seem to bloom, opening up, releasing a fragrance upon you, both of you guys, mechanically speaking, get the Fey-touched feet. So go ahead and message me on the side what kind of spells you would like to have associated with that. But Sebastian, what do you think is going through your head as this kind of happens? You can see this green light kind of glowing about Marcus, and for a second they change back into their true form. But you can see that there seems to be almost like these, like upon their left ear, you can see vines kind of filling around that. It feels so bad with the stupid headphones on, but kind of like builds around there. And you can see kind of like curling in almost like this set, like a set of jewelry that kind of like hardens there. Brockton, you seem to have a couple of flowers and blooms kind of like blossom within your beard, kind of sitting there, as it is a very chaotic but beautiful display. The fragrance is amazing that seems to be coming forth from there.
Not something I anticipate. How do I look, Marcus?
It's nice to breed a little bit more color to your face. You always pick up the most drab colors. I've always told you look far better with some pinks in your life. It gives you a little bit more joy.
Did you ever think that it's to make your prancing peacock of a self stand out even more?
It's adorable that you think that you could ever outshine me. But I appreciate it
No,
nonetheless.
not outshine you, make you shine even brighter. By comparison.
Uses. He does say that to his mom.
With your passive perception, Brockton, you see as Marcus and you guys kind of going back and forth, she suddenly kind of like cocks her eyebrow, just kind of like seems to almost motion towards Marcus now. Sebastian, as this is kind of going on and they seem to be kind of touched by this Feywild magic, what is going through your mind?
Well, first of all, I think it's absolutely wonderful, this new get-up. However, I'm still hung up on the revelation that, Henry isn't who he actually is. Henry isn't actually Henry anymore, and I guess Marcus actually isn't Marcus anymore. So, are my sister and I just doomed to fall in love with people who actually aren't themselves? I'm a little concerned about that. I definitely want to have a conversation about this. My mind is a little numb at the moment, and I'm just less focused on the vines and the flowers and more just at a loss for words.
Say, if anything, maybe your mind is racing from the conversation, the romantic stroll that you and Marcus just had within the maze, because we going back the 10, 15 minutes as you guys are walking through the maze, trying to find which way to go. What was it like as you guys started to walk through the maze, as you guys were alone? Sebastian, you look upon this fella, and these thoughts have been racing through your mind at that point. Do you say something?
So, Marcus, how is it being yourself? Is it wonderful?
Being myself. You mean
Yes.
like I am right now, or myself?
How is it being a changeling person? How that must come with benefits. It must. That sounded completely wrong. I'm so sorry. I did not mean that. It must come with advantages. That sounded really wrong.
I'll still pat your hand.
Yes.
I understand what you're saying. It's
what incredible power you have. I mean, it's wonderful. So attractive to be so powerful.
It would seem that way, wouldn't it? But I'm not really. I suppose I haven't experienced what it truly means to be a changeling. I mean, I every once in a while would, when I was in boarding school with Brockton, the occasional prank would happen. If anybody, don't ever tell him I said this, but sometimes some of the other boys would tease us. And, well, we all had the same looking uniforms. So occasionally, one of those boys happened to suddenly have out of character fits of just naughtiness and would get in trouble
Oh.
for pranks and
Oh my
doing terrible
goodness.
things to the teacher. Yeah, for the most part, got them all far back.
That's
but-
horrifying.
Other than
Incredible.
that,
Amazing.
I don't. I just know what it's like to be Marcus. To be a Sebastian Spatz. If you're
Yes.
interested, I can tell you
I'm
why I
interested.
am who I am, but
Yes. Are you all right?
the more
Is
it's
this
yeah,
touchy
it's a
subject?
complicated. It's you will be the only one to know other than Brock, and I think I can trust you with that. I'd like to trust you with that.
Well, if you're sure, I mean, that's seems like a big ask. Are you sure you
It
want
is.
to give up that information to someone like me? We've only really known each other for, I mean, in reality, a
As
short
someone
while.
who has saved my back more than once.
Well, wouldn't go that far.
No, I feel like I could do, and quite frankly, I would like to be more open with you.
Right. What do you have to? What would you like to entrust me with?
The real Marcus. And I think at this point, like, Marcus actually changes back into their true form. It's like a little foot taller as Marcus, like, is looking at Sebastian. The real Marcus was assassinated when he was just a child.
I'm sorry.
And attempted, anyways, I should say.
The real okay, hold on.
Yes.
1 second.
Yeah.
Let's completely.
Yes.
The real Marcus was assassinated. Is that what I
Yes.
heard you say? Because it
When
could have
he
meant
was
you could have
just
meant
a boy.
something else.
Yes. It was a sloppy deal. A carriage ran away, spooked a horse. The carriage went off the road and down a cliff, but the poor boy didn't die.
Oh.
Not right away.
Oh gods.
He was revivified, but his mind did not come back. Like, he's still asleep. And so I was contracted. I should say my family, I don't know if I would consider them my parents, contracted me into being Mark.
I mean, wow.
So-
Are your parents also changelings or no?
I don't know.
Have you've never met them?
No.
Did they send you? But have you always been in contact with them?
No.
Oh.
This is the first time I've seen any Fae. I believe I'm missing a touch of my memory, to be quite
Oh.
honest. But, so I
Do we
don't know.
turn left up here?
Oh, yeah, I
to
think
interrupt you.
so. Oh, yes,
Alright.
there's a bit of Brockton's blood. We should turn here.
Oh, all right. Sorry
Yes.
for interrupting. Continue.
No,
just
no.
To make sure we're on the path.
So I don't know what it's like to be a change. I just know what it's like to keep secret.
Oh.
I just know what it's like to live the life of a dead boy. And I think, like, at this point, Marcus, like, changes and more of, like, the skeletal, like, how the actual Marcus looks at this point, the cheeks becoming gaunt and, like, just dark, sunken eyes. Hair that's just kind of stringy at this point. This is what he looked like last, though I don't know what his voice is actually like.
Oh.
Marcus quickly changes out of that, though, like, unpleasant side.
Well, you know, it's really in the personality. Honestly, you know, I wouldn't mind, no matter what you look like. I think you're a lovely human being. Thank you for telling me that.
Of course, I just
If you don't mind, in the spirit of sharing, I can also share a secret about myself.
only if
you
you're comfortable and your sister wouldn't mind.
No, she wouldn't mind,
Okay.
But I secretly think I actually kind of like the chaos of the Fey realm. I pretend to hate it because it is a little nauseating because it is over the top quite often, but there's something kind of nice about not being able to really expect anything or be able to predict what's going to happen next. You know?
I do.
I think I could give it some time here. I mean, I think I could spend more time here. I mean, maybe. With the right person, of course. Well, who would that be? I don't really know.
That makes me very happy to hear that.
Um, well, been a lovely talk.
Yes,
I suppose this is the part.
Sorry.
Also, do we turn right up here as well, or was it left again? I don't see Brockton's blood.
I feel like Marcus, just as like we reach the end, Marcus is actually gonna like pull Sebastian back before we reach the entrance. And Marcus
Yes.
is just like gonna lean into Sebastian. If I may. And he's just gonna like give a quick peck on the cheek and then quickly like that's when he's just gonna fucking book and maybe accidentally shove Sebastian like too nervous, like alright.
That's how Sebastian landed in the hedgeway, so that's why
Yeah.
he was a little bit late to the...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Sebastian just stands there, and I think for the first time in his life, like his very, very pale skin just gets a little bit of color to it, and he's just like, just taken in the moment, and goes to turn to follow and probably runs into a tree or a bunch of branches and gets tangled up and like, and that's where we come to the present.
Alrighty. As with that, Brockton, Marcus, you walk back as Elsieth follows you all as well. You guys head back towards the manor, heading towards the library. As you guys get there, you, Brockton, produce the orange crystals, and go ahead and make me an insight check, Brockton.
Oh. Still in the screen. Hang on.
Oh, is
There
that
we go.
why? What happened? Oh. You
said
know what I
insight,
actually
right?
did to y'all? I think I just brought you to the wrong floor earlier. But you guys saw it.
Oop.
You guys saw the things that you saw, so it's okay. But as you guys make your way to the second floor once more, Brockton, you can tell that there's an interesting charge between Sebastian and Marcus, though what precisely is going on is you're not entirely sure, though it is palpable. Are either of you
If I
trying
can
to... Go ahead.
subtly get Marcus's attention, I'll be like, like just kind of, I'm going to assume Brock can just raise one eyebrow. I cannot really do that, but
Clancy to the rescue.
Yeah. Marcus is actually avoiding Brockton's face because I think Brockton's like could easily read Marcus like a book, so Marcus is just constantly like, look at
That's
this amazing book I just found.
That's got to be super unnerving for a changeling to have somebody that can read you so well.
Yeah.
As you guys once again head towards the manor, and you are on the second floor, as you guys look about, you produce those crystals. Bren, how do you think you would go about using them in this context?
Whoa.
As the Marriott pushes itself.
I haven't been thinking about this. I've been too busy listening to all this.
It's a good thing you're the book smart one of us. Thank goodness you're here.
I've been too busy listening to everyone hitting on each other. Um,
A House Divided,
Uh,
young adult edition. I
Oh
love it.
no.
A court of thorn and booze.
Yeah, we sparkle.
Court of Thorn. And... Nope.
how would I do this? Well, you see, it's simple, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't do anything because Marcus was the one that was supposed to fix the cracks, and then Marcus left. So we've just been standing here.
Yeah.
Terribly sorry. I'll get to work on that right now.
Our main goal is to get to the Shadowfell, and I know which sigils are specifically for the Shadowfell. So I would probably God. I mean, I gotta fix the actual inscription. So the first thing I would do is probably try and use these crystals to make some kind of, I don't know, I guess crystal dust that I can use to mark out the different sigils.
How do you, I should say, destroy the crystal? Or how do you attempt to? How do you powder it?
Well, I mean, they're just crystals, and my 8 strength, I just crush them in my hand.
You guys hear escape from
Way
brain
to have a
slips.
spear.
it's like being hit grunt number 3 on an ARPG. As you kind of like try to crush it on some of the surfaces, it doesn't seem to do much on the wood itself. As you kind of head over towards the stone of the circle itself, suddenly what appear to be green sigils and symmetrical lines seem to hum with energy, reflecting the same type of orange light that these orange crystals have. It is working then. Sadia has been mentioning something about research she was doing.
Didn't realize she was here. Just spooked me.
Oh,
She's
been here
just
the
standing in the
whole
corner. Ooh. So that it's interacting with the crystals. I would probably just go, if I need to turn this into a dust, it'd probably just be crystal on crystal. I'd probably just put one crystal down and just start hacking at it with the other crystal.
as you put that crystal down, about to pull out the second one, light is shining upwards as you like, okay, and you go, hit down. As the crystals touch, they do not crack, they do not crystallize. However, in that moment, suddenly, you see an orange portal break open, shimmering with power.
Ta-da!
Did it?
That's
Do we-
right.
Know for sure that it goes to Shadowfell?
I'm 99% sure.
Only one way to find out. Push. No, never.
No,
mind.
Elspeth goes, wait,
No.
before you go, I insist that all of you recover first. If this leads to Kryn, you will die.
Oh,
Take the
big
time.
vote of
please.
confidence.
Please just
Mom.
take the time. I have ordered Red to compose a meal that is going to be palatable to all you all, that will help you.
She probably did not like hearing that.
Now,
She did
I have
not.
never heard a better idea in my life. Yes, let's rest, relax. You know.
I agree as well. We should really not go through that portal. Can you like shut it off actually? Because that seems like a horrible idea to leave on.
You know, the main plan was getting it on. I didn't think about getting it off. Turning it off. I didn't think about
That's
turning it
fine.
off.
You can leave it on. There's plenty of rooms here, you know?
Yes, we're also on companions. We were talking.
So, you know, I wasn't that far ahead in the plan of turning the portal off.
No. Yeah, no, we can leave it on. We'd go somewhere else to relax and rest.
Right.
Right.
It gives off a lot of light too. And there's
Yeah, it's very
ambiance.
bright. Also that.
Like an impending doom kind of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, we probably shouldn't stay
Okay.
near it. Well, it's
All of us?
You know, any of us? We probably
Yes.
shouldn't be.
I agree.
So Red will likely keep cooking for a few hours. The meal will be ready and it will be most delicious. Feel free to rest and recuperate. And oh yeah. She looks towards Marcus and Sebastian. The red room is available if you'd like it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
It's an open offer to anyone who might be interested in such.
Oh yes. Actually, if that room can be made available, I think that is a fantastic idea.
Of course. Right away.
Thank you.
Marcus
How-
does look at
how
Brockton
much-
at this point. Just
Yeah, you get the eyebrow. Also, I have a mechanical question for the DM. How much control does a changeling have over how hard they blush?
Oh, you've got a mechanical question? I'm sorry. We're having a YA moment. Could you just like maybe wait for the YA question?
what do you think you're doing right now? Playing D&D? What do you think this is?
No.
Did you guys actually hear the question?
Perfect time. No,
I
I did.
heard
I
the
did.
question.
I did.
heard the question.
How much control does a changeling have over how hard they blush? That was the mechanical question.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a great question. It's a very good question.
Oh my god.
Cycles through, it's mostly like
That's
just
a
different shades of
fail.
rouge.
yeah.
I feel like all the control. A changeling would have like all the control. No?
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's,
I
maybe it's
rolled a
like in one of
2.
those situations where you're really shitty at giving yourself advice, but you're amazing at giving other people advice. So it's like if you're acting as someone else, oh yeah, this is totally fine. But the second this is like affecting you as a person, like a real person, like this might be the first time, the second person aside from Brockton. And correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus, but is this the second person that Marcus has ever opened up to about like who they
Yeah.
truly are?
Yeah. Yep.
I love this.
Yep.
I don't think the red room is the right room. Is there
No.
like a romantic room? Is there a room with like rose petals and like, you know, like a picnic?
Well, I was looking forward to
Ooh, like
staying
that.
at my own room, but
No.
roses
no,
can be
stop,
prepared.
Stop.
How many
stop
would you
it.
like?
No.
Oh, like 50, 60,
Well, I should.
Oh, I think we should take those numbers up.
120.
100.
Wow.
Yes.
We're really gonna kick this woman out of her own room, are we?
Oh, that is quite
No,
all
no,
right.
we're not. We're not.
Yes,
no,
we
no,
are.
that's not all right at all.
Of
No.
course we can.
Absolutely not. Looks at Brockton like, help. Help.
I'm just gonna.
So 100 roses it will be. Do you have a preference in color, or can I pick?
Not
Black.
yellow. Yellow
What?
is friendship. This is clearly past that.
Oh my
Why
God.
don't you pick, Mother?
I will.
Oh dear.
Maybe like a deep scarlet.
Like a deep purple.
Ooh, purple roses.
Mm.
Yeah. Like an eggplant or a plum.
Like bleeding. Perhaps they're bleeding. That would be romantic. Do you
So
not think?
bleeding.
you two will
Oh,
get,
yeah.
you two will
Definitely
get the
leave
red
the
room.
thorns.
You two can
Definitely
have
leave
my
the thorns
room.
on the roses.
No, I could not. No, absolutely
No,
not.
you
It's a thing of
will.
fantasy.
Wait,
No, you're
oh,
right.
we will find a. Oh, I will find my own room.
Yeah.
I have not.
I will be
been.
lodging with my sister.
I will. That's. Oh.
Oh,
What is your O?
Oh, nothing.
Rules
got-
are different in the Shadowfell.
Continue.
Oh, really?
Continue with what you were saying.
Interesting. Well, I have my faculties for the first time in what feels like an eternity, so I will walk my grounds. I will sleep beneath the canopy of the tree that I've come to love, and I will meet those who have protected me in Generos when I lost my mind. There's much that I would need to catch up on. It feels like I've lost a lifetime. So no, I will not be needing that room this evening. I would rather spread joy and love. Please.
friend, something.
Shit.
What an inspiration. I did not expect to find such a beautiful beacon of light here in this bright, vibrant place. But my goodness, it does suit you.
Thank you. It could suit you too. I do see the palette is very black and white and a lot of gray in between. I respect that though. The gold motifs, they're nice touches. I might actually have some jewelry left over that you might like. Why don't you come with me, all right?
Oh no, I'll come with you as well. Jewelry?
Oh no, I think you have roses to pick.
Wow, just dropped Marcus for some jewelry.
No.
Damn.
I know I understand. We don't.
Oh no,
I
I was
we
talking
want
to
to take-
Celine. That is your name, yes?
Yes.
Yes, Celine.
You know,
And she kind of like takes your arm, kind of hooks it in. You and I have some talking to do, and clothes to try on, and jewelry to try on. What kind of palette do you usually like for your makeup? And she kind of like starts walking with Celine. If you let her, she'll like start walk with you.
sure, but I'm looking back at Bastian. He also likes makeup, the same makeup palette that I like. It is the same. We enjoy very much the same.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
yes.
Not the separation anxiety.
I love you. Purple roses, bleeding, purple bleeding, obviously.
Purple bleeding. Absolutely.
Romantic.
I'm
Right.
on it.
Mental breakdown.
Alrighty. With that, as Celine and Elsieth walk off to have a little bit of a fashion and makeup time together. I'm sure Mariette loves the idea of the purple plum roses. Anything else that you guys would like to do with the rest of the day here?
I don't know that I would go back to the Grove, but I do like the idea of Brock spending some time outside of the house, somewhere in nature, trying to just meditate and explore these new abilities that he has.
I'm back outside holding a handkerchief, waiting for my true love to return from war.
So romantic. This is the most romantic episode ever. I love it.
I will give the last scene of today to Mariette. Mariette, while everybody else goes off and is all lovey-dovey and shit, you walk up the stairs as you are curious. And it is kind of hard to get there, as it seems a lot of these staircases have been overgrown by trees and roots. And as you make your way into one of them, you look into the room where you and the others had encountered yourself for the first time. It's still weird to have the thought of you and Henry be intertwined. As you walk into the solarium, you can see that here every inch of the floor is covered with vines, with massive, beautiful flowers, mounds of dirt that seem to have intermixed with it art, jewelry, coins, gems, bones. If anything, Henry, this right here appears to be a treasure trove. As you walk into the place, you see thousands and thousands and thousands of gold coins. You see pieces of jewelry that represent ivory and gilded things, beautiful paintings and statuettes. You see that many of them are covered in what appears to be blood and have dried off over time. But maybe your heart sinks a little bit as you see not a single mirror inside. It appears that this place is very different. As you suddenly hear a set of wings fly above. Overhead, as a massive dragonfly with 6 iridescent wings kind of flies. I need you to make me a stealth check, please.
Ooh, okay. These are good. Oh, okay, 20.
As you back up a little bit and hide within some of the tree branches and roots, it appears that this towering creature, this massive gargantuan insectoid, did not catch you this time. What do you think is going through Myriad's mind as it sees this treasure trove before it?
I mean, I don't think, there's nothing in there that seems really interesting to him. I mean, I think the gold could be useful, like, once he gets out of the house, right? But, like, he really wants to get out of the house, and so he was just more curious to see, what to kind of, like, reflected up there. So I think he'll probably tell, his compatriots that, like, hey, if we want to, there's a lot of stuff up there. There could be lots of riches that we just don't know, but there was a giant bug at the same time. But, so he's just going to back down the stairs. He just wanted to look.
And with that, and so much love in the air this time, we're leaving it for this week's session of A House Divided. Awesome! Oh my god! Whew! Marcus, Sebastian, Jason, Clancy, thank you guys for that. That was so cute. I loved it. Oh,
So cute.
I just love, like, we're, like, talking, like, yeah, slow burn. The David over here being, like, gas pedal.
listen, LCF just came back. She has her son back, and we got to play through some of these
Fireball.
tropes. LCF, 1000%.
Oh,
I really thought that Celine was going to be like, no, I want the red room for me and Henry.
That's what I was thinking.
I know I've only been your mom again for 5 minutes, but we need to get you a baby. Who's the closest girl that I know? Celine, great. You should have a baby with Celine.
Then she knew Marcus was a changeling. Is like, well. Anyways, with that thought in mind, my God, you guys have been absolutely awesome. We're going to be rating another stream here in a second, so please stay tuned. Thank you for the follows. Anybody joining in, please follow us, because we'll be back again next week for another session. As a reminder, we start at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays weekly. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been an absolute blast, and I cannot wait to see what we can come up with next week. With that, like I said, we're going to be ending, but please tune in again. Wait for the raid. We'll be back again. Bye.